Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Code Realize, Guardian of Rebirth. We have just reached Lupin's hideout and we just went to bed and got ourselves a little doggy. So sit back, relax, and let me tell you more of the story. I don't feel sleepy at all, even after I lie on the bed. Cece is curled up at my feet and I can feel his weight on the mattress. I feel like I've lived more in the past day than in the previous 2 years. The armed men who invaded my old home, Lupin's shadow in the moonlight, meeting Impy, who I'm still not sure of, seeing London for the first time, the encounter with the very kind Victor, everything that happened on the road between Wales and London. Just by closing my eyes, I can make so many new memories spin about in my head. And then, my nervousness about not being able to move on the bed is pushing sleep further away. I hope I'll get to sleep before sunrise. As I lay there thinking this, Cece raises his head and perks up his ears. Cece? Cece growls in response. He jumps down and dashes over to the door. It seems something is going on. Cece? I nervously approach the door. Do you want to go outside? I quietly open the door. Oh! Cece quickly pushes through the gap and disappears into the darkness of the house. The hall is unlit. The moonlight comes in through the window, casting shadows. The silence of the night somehow reminds me of the mansion I used to live in. Cece, where are you? I start walking down the hall. Oh, I see a huge shape turn the corner at the far end of the hallway. Right, you should not be chasing after dark shapes. It looks like a person in armor. Could that be the owner of this mansion? Lupin did say that he was something of an eccentric character. I quicken my pace to approach the corner and introduce myself. But... Huh? I turn the corner, but that huge shape is nowhere to be seen. Was I just seeing things? I look around and notice an open door in the row along the wall. Perhaps he went in there. I quietly approach, then enter. It's a huge room. It's furnished like the room I'm staying in. Could someone be staying here as well? There are so many books. Bookcases line the walls, packed with countless books. In a way, they remind me of Father's bookshelves, and I quickly feel a connection with this room. I look around, scanning the room, but there is no one here. More importantly, Cece isn't here either. Where could he have gone? I turn back to the door, thinking that I should continue looking elsewhere when... Good evening, lady. What are you doing up so late at night? I hear a sudden voice from behind me. Oh, he's pretty. I spin around in surprise and see someone who appeared out of nowhere by the window. A calm, androgynous-seeming figure. The moonlight gives his skin a bluish glow and gleams off his eyes. With the city lights sparkling outside behind him, he looks very beautiful. Who are you? And how did you... Oh, did I startle you? I apologize. I do seem to go unnoticed at times. You must be the new tenant. Lupin told me all about you. My name is Saint-Germain. I am honored by the title Count in France. However, for the moment, I have the whimsical position of Master of this estate. I warmly welcome you, Miss Cardia. He smiles warmly. So, this is the owner of the mansion. You need not address me as Count, though. Just call me Saint-Germain. Did you say you were from France? He seems to find this question funny. Yes, this is where I am currently from. Currently from? What is that supposed to mean? It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Cardia. Your arrival has been tugging at the threads of fate for a long time. What? I'm sorry, I don't understand. I'm terribly sorry to have confused you. In any case, I welcome you to my home. Let us enjoy our time together. He smiles. Perhaps it's the moonlight or the lights from the city. I don't know why, but even though his smile seems welcoming and friendly, I feel a bottomless coldness. It's almost like looking at a smile on a painting, not on a real person. By the way, Miss Cardia, were you looking for something? What is the matter? I was looking for Cece. Cece? Ah, the cute little dog. Lupin did tell me that the animal seemed to have warmed up to you. Are you going to be taking care of him? I'd like to try to do what I can. Ah, I see. I'm sure Impy will be jealous. But that is, Cece's whereabouts, are unfortunately a mystery to me as well. I see. Maybe that shadow I saw has something to do with it. You saw a shadow? I saw something in the hallway earlier. It looked like someone in armor. Armor? I have no tenants in my mansion like that. And if one were to dress like that, I would think it would make a lot of noise. I haven't seen anyone like that. I suppose I was simply seeing things. We can't be too cautious. I'm going to look around for a bit. Thank you for informing me of this. As Saint-Germain turns to leave, I speak up. Thank you for allowing me to stay here. I hope we get along. Saint-Germain turns back to me. It's my pleasure. I'm sure we will be experiencing many things together from this point. We'll have a busy day tomorrow. Try to get some rest tonight. I wish you a peaceful sleep and good dreams. Even after Saint-Germain leaves, I stay in the room watching the city lights through the window. Maybe the air of mystery that he left behind is affecting me. When I return to the bedroom, Cece is on the bed, breathing softly in his sleep. You came back. I sigh and lay down on the bed. Fatigue begins to settle in, and I feel sleep beginning to overtake me. As I'm drifting away, I look out at the moon floating outside the window. What will tomorrow bring? It will likely be filled with things that I can't possibly imagine right now. I look back on everything that happened today, and I feel my world rapidly expanding. My sleep is comfortable and deep. Well, I got an achievement. Chapter 2. The Strongest Stalker. That's ominous. There is a gem embedded in my chest. The Horologium. It glows faintly, like a heartbeat. This gem was placed inside me 2 years ago. But why? When? For what reason? Well, you just said 2 years ago. I have no memory of anything from before I woke back then. I don't understand it. But there is one thing I know for certain. The poison coursing through my body is being created by this gem. The poison that melts anything I touch. In my hatred for this gem, the source of the poison, I have tried many times to remove it or break it. But every time, it caused me immense pain. Whatever it is now a part of my body, and I cannot function without it. And so the gem stays there, with a quiet beauty, but still hideous. Above all, I can't help but see its glow as a proof that I am a monster. Alright, shall we begin? At Victor's prompting, I gently touch a piece of metal placed on the desk. The poison from my body begins to eat away at the metal, causing it to smoke. We had already repeated this experiment several times with different objects. This too? Very interesting. On the first morning after arriving in Saint-Germain's mansion, Victor said that he wanted to examine me before breakfast. Victor and I are in his room. Lupin is there too. They're trying to examine my poison. Are you learning anything from this, Victor? Yes. This metal is called titanium. The alchemists of the Royal Society have refined it to a highly purified state. It's an amazing metal, stronger than steel, and as resistant to corrosion as gold. Even so. Can you explain that more simply? What he's saying is that there's nothing your poison can't melt. Am I right? Yes. From my examinations, it seems that the horologium in your chest is the origin of a powerfully acidic substance. It is likely to do with the fact that the horologium is a pure crystal containing a vast amount of energy. I began with a simple test. The poison is present in your body and in your skin. The silver lining is that your hair is safe to touch. Victor's smile is somewhat grim, since some of his equipment was destroyed in the tests while trying to examine me. Can the poison be contained? That has yet to be determined. But don't be sad, Cardia. We don't have a clue yet, but we do have clues. Clues? If it is capable of melting titanium, it would seem the poison is impossible to contain. Victor stops and smiles. And yet, your clothes haven't melted. Only after he points it out do I realize it. He's right. My clothing is able to contain the poison. That's why I've had to wear these clothes all this time. Did you have several outfits like this in the mansion where you were living? I nod. The material doesn't appear to be all that special. That means that the fabric must have been soaked in some neutralizing agent that counteracts the poison in your skin. I see. Victor, I'd like to ask you for a favor. If you can figure out how it works, would you be able to make her new clothing? Why do I need new clothes? You stand out too much right now. We need to be cautious as possible. Besides, those don't look very comfortable. Well, I can't say for sure, but I don't think it's impossible to make new clothing for her. Cardia, there is one thing that the poison is incapable of melting. What's that? Your own body. You can touch yourself without harm, right? If you couldn't, you wouldn't be able to live. When you put it that way, you're right. Your body creates poison, but it must create some kind of antibody that prevents you from melting yourself. This is only conjecture, but the agent in your clothing is likely based on that antibody. That leads me to believe that analyzing your body will lead to an insight as to how your anti-poison mechanism works. It's probably going to take a lot of work to unravel this mystery, but it's alright. We'll make it happen. We're counting on you, Victor. Thank you. I'm so sorry to cause you so much trouble. It's no trouble. There's no need for apologies or thanks. These are the terms of my staying here in this mansion. There is one more thing that I'd like to ask you. What is it? I'll do anything I can to help. I'd like a pillowcase that doesn't melt. Oh, was that the problem last night? If I turn and put my face on the pillow, the bed might melt. I have to constantly stay on my back. I'm so nervous, it's hard to sleep. I can see why that would be tough. Alright, it might take some time, but you can leave it to me. Sorry to keep adding to things, but can you do something about eating utensils? She shouldn't have to use something different. Lupin. None of that bothers me, but his consideration for my feelings makes me happy. I see. Once we have an anti-poison fluid, we can use that as a varnish and... Right, I'll look into that as well. Thank you, Victor. Victor smiles and nods in response. By the way... Victor starts to say something, then falls silent in thought. What is it, Victor? No, it's nothing. Victor smiles sweetly. He is clearly biting back something that he has to say. That's what I assume is happening. I'm curious about it, but the topic of conversation changes to something else. I never did find out what he was about to say just then. Lord, bless this meal which we are about to receive. Please forgive us as this meal is consumed for us sinners, body and mind. All right, everyone, let's eat. After Saint-Germain's prayer, we begin breakfast. Lupin, Impy, Victor, Saint-Germain, Cece, and me. A 5-person, 1-dog meal. I stare at the scene, slightly shocked. What's the matter? Not hungry? This is Impy's special breakfast. It's super tasty. Just as Impy says, our meal is a special sandwich he prepared himself. Impy thought this up in consideration of my state until Victor was able to create special eating utensils for me. Oh, I was a bit surprised to see both you and Lupin praying along with Saint-Germain, Impy. Oh, you think we don't seem that type? It's not like that. They're just doing it to play along with me. They say they don't want to disturb my prayers. We're pretty much freeloading here, so hey, when in Rome, right? Lupin nods in agreement with what Impy said, a rare sight. Impy and I are hardly religious, but we have no business interfering with the customs and beliefs of other people. I see. This is unexpected. I thought Lupin and Impy were being very free-spirited with how they lived. But at the same time, they're considerate of other people's ways of life. By the way, what are you people going to do? I heard everyone's individual plans last night, but do you have a concrete plan as to how to actually achieve your goals? If so, I'd like to help. Our goals. Lupin wants to stop the terrorists. I think Impy is serious about the moon. Victor is hiding from the government. Saint-Germain is... Saint-Germain, why are you allowing us to stay here? I don't have any money. I'm hardly short on funds. I have only one reason for accepting you all here, and that is because it amuses me. It does? Back when I was beginning to bore of society, I encountered Lupin and Impy, who needed a place to stay in London. I saw them and had a gut feeling that they would lead me to something fun. Ah, yes. That was when we were at the bar trying to figure out how to smuggle ourselves into the central government. This man suddenly comes over to our table and says, "Perhaps I may be of assistance." Isn't that kind of your fault for talking about something like that in public? Never underestimate the power of being confident. As long as you're not trying to hide, people will assume you're joking. But the Count took it seriously. When one is bored out of one's mind, one tends to be quick to notice things that might be of interest. Yep, so when he kept bugging us, asking us to let him in on our plans, swearing he wouldn't tell everyone, we finally gave in. I'm used to having women come on strong to me. It's the first time a well-dressed man did, so I was surprised. I've never seen a woman approach you, Impy. Not once in the whole time we've been hanging out. They do! They do it when you're not looking! So don't miss the boat on this one, Miss Cardia. What is he talking about? Have the two of you known each other long? Not really. We've only been together for the past year or so. Something important was stolen from me. I came all the way from London chasing after the thief. He thought I stole it and attacked me. It was a battle of wits. I was one step ahead of him the whole time. Finally, he begged me to let him join up with me. Liar! You're the one who came crying to me, pleading for me to help you find your precious property. I know why Impy would want to work with you, but I don't quite see why you would want to work alongside Lupin. Oh, well, he said he would help me with my plans too, so we decided to team up for a while. I regret that now, of course. What are you talking about? There's nothing to regret. I've been super useful to you. I see. I think I'm starting to see the entire picture little by little. Ah, every person has a history. Victor, I think it's time for us to hear your story. So you've been wrongfully accused? As the one providing you with shelter, I would like to know the details. Me? Who, me? In my case, I ran away from the government. Isaac's research has had an impact on even the world of alchemy. Due to his achievements, Britain advanced not only in scientific fields, but in the study of alchemy as well. And, having learned and cultivated so much at the head of the Royal Alchemists, what I know should never leave Britain. The government fears that my knowledge will be leaked to other nations. That's why they're trying to capture me. I see. Very interesting. But I don't understand why you felt the need to flee. As leader of a major government institution, you likely led a life of comfort and had access to the best research facilities. I can't speak about that, I'm sorry. Everyone has one or two secrets that they never wish to divulge. I'm fine with that. Though Victor's refusal to speak darkened the mood, Lupin easily lightened it. Now that we know each other a little better, let's talk about the future. Cardia, you wish to meet Isaac, and my objective is to stop Isaac's plan. To accomplish either of those, we'll need to find Isaac's whereabouts. With that in mind, I think our best bet is to look for clues pointing to Isaac here in London. What do you all think? No objections here. I agree with so many people here in London, this is probably the best place to look for anything. I have nothing against it either. I already agreed that I would help you with whatever you do. I'll do the best I can to assist you. I shall do all that I can as well to support you. Please don't hesitate to come to me for help. It's set then. Obviously we're going to have to do all this while avoiding Twilight, who are after this young lady. I nod in reply. If I am caught, it will create an opportunity for a global terrorist attack. I don't want to be involved in such a thing. Twilight? The Special Government Task Force? That's something that doesn't come up in conversation every day. Well, that's who we're up against. I hate to say it, but odds are that we're going to be bringing in some trouble from around here. Don't worry about that. When I accepted you all into my home, I accept that you may cause some problems. A daughter searching for her missing father, and a covert government force searching for her. So mysterious. Although the reasons may be different, I feel that you and I are in a similar situation, Cardia. So, moving on to today's plans, the first thing I want to do is take you to see a doctor, Cardia. You do? Do you remember when I said that London has a great many doctors? I'll make sure you see an exceptional one. That is a good idea, but there are people after her. It would seem that Twilight is already aware she is in London. They are no fools. There is a chance that they may have already alerted any doctors that you would wish her to see. Don't concern yourself with that. I'll take care of it. But... I look over at Victor. He had just examined me earlier this morning. What results could we possibly get by going to another doctor? That's a good idea. Though I have some medical training, I'm no doctor, just an alchemist. But maybe... No, let's first hear what your doctor has to say. There are many things I can't believe just yet. I tried to ask what he's talking about, but Victor brushes me off with a smile. The horologium is buried within my chest, and poison flows through my body. Could there be something else? Yet another problem with me? Whatever the case, following Lupin's plan, we head out to see the doctor in question. I see row after row of buildings standing alongside the city's outer wall. Lupin explained to me that the tallest building in all of London is actually here in London Tower. Ah, it's so lively here! As MP notes, the streets are jammed with people, even at this early hour. I was attacked in a part of town like this. The main thoroughfares are filled with people, and shopkeepers calling out to potential customers fill the air with sound. However, I also see suspicious people standing in the shadows, talking with one another in hushed tones. Perhaps my experience yesterday had opened my eyes to things I wouldn't have noticed before. Saint-Germain has remained at the mansion, while Lupin, Impy, and Victor accompany me on this excursion. I swear to myself that I will not lose them. Victor, is it all right for you to leave the mansion? You're a wanted man. Yes, but apparently we don't need to worry. Lupin says that they have given up on searching this area for me. Many of the people here in this district aren't registered citizens of London. They're pretty tolerant of criminals here. Looking here for one person is a waste of time and money. The Yard is aware of that, so they don't search it thoroughly. What's the Yard? Officially, it's Scotland Yard, London's police headquarters, so we call the police higher-ups the Yard. I see. Victor nods in agreement. And it seems that the Yard's current attention is on the theft of some treasure from an influential lord. Thanks to that, I'm much freer to roam the streets than I was even yesterday. A lord's treasure, eh? Was that your doing, Lupin? Unfortunately, no. It seems there's someone in London pretending to be a phantom thief, despite my presence here. He's more thug than burglar, though. I can't believe he's getting more attention than me with such crude methods. Hey, don't start getting all weird and competitive. Besides, isn't a thief supposed to try to avoid police suspicion? While we're talking, Lupin comes to a stop. Is it around here? The street address is, yes. I'm sure there's something you're not telling us, if you put it like that. The going gets a little rough from here. It's a bit of a climb, you see. It looks way up. Lupin pointed ahead to the rooftops of the line of buildings along the outer wall. The buildings are 40 to 50 meters tall. For a while, we have to scale a rickety, bare staircase to climb up the buildings. Finally, we reach the top. The cityscape here is completely different from down on the streets. The area is a lot less lively, it's quieter, and there are fewer people going to and fro. Why aren't any of you out of breath after all those stairs? A gentleman thief must have strong legs. I make sure to stay in peak condition. I guess I was just born this way. I'm a physical and mental prodigy. Should I be gasping for air like you? Wow, you people. Why on earth would any doctor be up here? Because I'm quite selective about my customers. No one would think to find a clinic in such a remote location. We turn towards the voice from behind us and see a middle-aged woman in a white coat. Well, well, isn't this a group? And do I see a familiar face? What are you doing here, Lupin? Hello, Doctor. I'm honored to see you again. There's someone who needs a checkup, and we don't care to leave a paper trail. So, I'm your neighborhood black market sawbones. Is that it? I decide who I see. Is it the beanpole having an asthma attack? No, not me. Why don't you want anyone to know about your clinic here? It's because I'm too good. If people find me, I'll be bombarded with patients, and I'll never get to go home to sleep. I became a doctor to help people I want to save, and I'll save only the people I want to save. Whoa, talk about your awful bedside manners. Is this girl the patient, then? Yes, it's me. How did you know? I know Lupin and the long-haired one well enough. You can't kill him if you tried. And if it's not the other kid, it's you. Hurry up and follow me. I can't do anything for you out here. Alright, let's get started. First, I'll examine your body and ask you some questions. Get your clothes off. Huh? Is deafness one of your symptoms? I said take them off, all of them. Yes! Ow! Damn it, Lupin! Outside, now! Lupin drags Impy out of the room. As Victor is about to leave, he looks back at me with a worried expression. What's the matter? It's nothing. I'll see you later. Now that the menfolk are gone, take your clothes off and tell me what's bothering you. While I undress, I tell her about the poison and how I'm seized with the pain when I try to do something to the horologium. The gem on my naked chest pulses with light, like a heartbeat. Oh, this is amazing! I've seen some horrible things stuck into a human body, but this is the most beautiful of them. I wonder how it was done, to get the pattern of gem and skin so artfully. Aren't you going to take your shoes off? I don't want to burn a hole in the floor. I see. She takes out a stethoscope and is about to press it against my body, then pauses. I want you to hold up the thinnest layer of clothes you have so I can examine you against the cloth. I nod and hold my clothing against my chest. The doctor presses the stethoscope against me. What's wrong? Cover your wrist now. Why? Just hurry up and do it. I follow her instructions, and she grabs my wrist. After just a few seconds, she lets go. Checkup over. Put your clothes back on. Already? Did you find anything? More like the opposite. I'm sorry? Get dressed and bring your friends in. I'll tell you all at once. I call Lupin and the others in, and the doctor gives me a quick look. Simply put, my girl, I can't treat you. No doctor in Britain will be able to treat your condition. But why? Is her poison difficult to get rid of? Tell us everything. In all honesty, I can't tell you anything, because I don't understand it. What's wrong with me? I wish you could tell me. What is wrong with you? I've never seen a patient who walked in here without a heartbeat. My heart isn't beating? I'd never given it any thought. While everyone is silent in shock, Victor speaks up. That's right. Your heart isn't moving. That's impossible for a human body, but... Oh, so you knew about it, boy. Why'd you bother bringing her here, then? I noticed it immediately when I examined her, but I wanted another professional opinion. I wasn't sure if I should have told her about it or not. So you understand why I won't continue the examination. You tell her, then. Victor nods carefully. Victor, what is it? Cardia, your heart isn't moving, or perhaps your heart has been removed from your body altogether. You should be dead. It's impossible, but here you are, very much alive. You have a special power that goes beyond medical science, and it seems you're using it as a life force. It's likely that horologium is there to act as a replacement heart. You must never try to harm it, and don't let anyone else try to take it from you. I don't understand about this horologium business, but I'm not going to mess around with a body who defies all known medicine. I nod and look around at the others flustered. Oh, everybody's sad for her. What am I? What happened to me in the past? No one can answer my questions. I don't have a heart. It's as if I really am a monster. I understand. Thank you for examining me. My voice had fallen into a sullen monotone. I don't know whether it was because I now know how hard it would be to treat the poison, or because I was literally heartless. Even after we return to the lively street, my mind is elsewhere. The more I try to find out about myself and my affliction, the less I understand. Am I going to be like this forever? Thoughts like this grow stronger within me.
Hey, come on. Don't be so sad, Miss Cardia. We know that we don't know what's going on, so we do know something, right? We know that we know nothing. That is something to know.
I suppose that's true. Impy's right. I believe your poison is more an alchemical problem than a medical one. If that's so, then I'm just the man to save you. I'll look at all the possibilities, and I promise we'll do something about it. Thank you. I know it's my fault that we're depressed, but I can't bring myself to cheer up. Suddenly, Lupin, who had been walking ahead of us, stops.
All right. I've made up my mind. Cardia, I'm taking you someplace nice right now.
Someplace nice? Like where?
A nice place, of course. We need to take our minds off things.
Impy and Victor shrug, not knowing what he is talking about. When I see Lupin smile, I can't help but nod. All right, let's go, Lupin. As Lupin ignores our inquiries about where he's leading us, we gradually make our way away from the center of town. It's already been a while since we passed through the poor areas. Really, where is he taking us? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here on that note, and we'll find out where he's taking us in the next episode. I hope to see you in my future videos, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.